the beginning of the movie, it is revealed that some music is so powerful that it attracts souls. This music can even pull souls from the past and the future. Evil souls are also drawn toward it. In the opening scene, a wounded boy named Sammy enters a church with a guitar in his hand. He is severely injured, and the people in the church are worried to see him. A man named Trist prays for him and tells Sammy to give up music so that the evil forces following him will leave him alone. The story then goes back one day. Sammy is shown with a guitar, playing with a band. Their band creates blues music with emotional lyrics, so intense that not just people but even souls get lost in it. Sammy's father disapproves of his passion. Turns out that his father is the same priest shown in the opening scene. In the next scene, two brothers named Smoke and Stack are introduced. They have stolen a large amount of money from a gangster. Despite being rich and powerful, they are not respected because they belong to the black community. They come to a town and buy an old factory from a white man. They plan to turn it into a nightclub for their community. They go to a station where they hear Sammy's music and get impressed by his voice and performance. They invite Sammy's band to perform at their club. They also hire two Chinese men who run a restaurant to manage food and drinks at the club. Later, Smoke visits his wife who practices voodoo magic. He had stayed away from her because of it. Even after a long time apart, they argue. She claims it was her voodoo magic that saved him from World War I. Smoke angrily asks why her magic couldn't save their daughter, which leaves her speechless. However, she notices that he still wears the pendant she gave him and calls it love. The scene shifts to a strange injured man who appears to be running from something. He hides in a couple's house. Soon, vampire hunters arrive. Couple lies and says no one came in. After they leave, the strange man attacks the man and drinks some of his blood, turning him into a vampire. His wife screams in horror and the scene cuts. Next, Smoke and Stack are shown again. Their nightclub is fully decorated and ready for the grand opening. Smoke is strict about rules and instructs the guards not to let anyone in without a full-price ticket. Stack, on the other hand, believes the club should feel like heaven for their community, even if people come with less money. On opening night, the club is packed with people. Sammy starts his performance, and the audience becomes mesmerized. His music becomes so powerful that it attracts souls to the club. Not only souls, but the three vampires also arrive at the club. One of them is the same vampire who turned the couple into vampires. These vampires cannot enter the nightclub without permission. When they ask for entry, Smoke refuses because the vampire is white, and white people do not respect his community. Smoke now seeks revenge. The vampire tries to explain that he has money and only came because he was drawn to the music, promising to spend lavishly. But Smoke stands firm and denies entry. The three vampires begin singing outside. Meanwhile, inside the club, Smoke and Stack get into an argument with their friend Mary, whose mother raised both brothers. Mary storms out of the club. The female vampire approaches Mary and offers her gold coins in exchange for letting them into the club. But Mary notices something strange. The vampire begins to salivate at the sight of her. Without wasting time, the vampire attacks Mary and drinks her blood, turning her into a vampire as well. Now transformed, Mary returns to the club. With permission, she enters easily. Once inside, she grows close to Stack and then suddenly attacks him, drinks his blood, and turns him into a vampire too. Smoke witnesses everything. To save his brother, he shoots at Mary, but she walks away laughing, unaffected by the bullets. Smoke is emotionally shaken because he considers Mary like a sister. Smoke clears the nightclub for safety. Just then, Ruthie arrives and informs him that Mary has become a vampire, which is why bullets had no effect. Ruthie knows this because she believes in voodoo magic. Later, the club's security guard steps out for a moment to relax. One of the vampires attacks and turns him into a vampire as well. When the guard returns and asks for permission to enter, Ruthie immediately realizes he must be a vampire too, since vampires need permission. The guard says if not entry, at least give him today's pay. When Smoke reaches out to hand over the money, the guard tries to bite him. In self-defense, Smoke shoots him. Inside, Stack regains consciousness. Before he can do anything further, Ruthie throws garlic juice on him, causing him intense pain. To protect everyone, she explains the ways to defend against vampires. Garlic juice or garlic itself can be used to repel them. If one wants to kill them, it must be done using either silver or wooden weapons. She also warns that if someone asks for permission to enter a building, deny them immediately because humans can enter freely without permission, but vampires cannot. Inside the bar, she asks everyone to eat garlic to confirm that they are still human. Inside the club, the scene shows the crowd that Smoke had forced out. Vampires attack them and many get turned. These new vampires then begin attacking others, rapidly converting almost everyone into vampires. Soon, the transformed crowd starts partying among themselves and waits for the remaining humans inside to come out so they can strike again. Ruthie tells everyone that the only way to stay safe is to remain inside the building until sunrise. Once the sun rises, all the vampires will vanish, as they cannot survive daylight. Now, the first vampire, Remick, returns and tries to convince Smoke and the others to become vampires too. He argues that it's the best decision. There's no racism among vampires, no concept of black or white, and no death. Another interesting fact emerges. When a vampire turns someone, the vampire also gains access to that person's memories. Remick had earlier attacked a couple who were about to rob Smoke and Stack, unable to tolerate that black people had become the richest in town. He tells them that humans cannot stand your success anyway, so why not become vampires? Toward the end, the vampire demands Sammy, even if no one else agrees to turn. Sammy's music has the power to summon souls from both the past and the present. That moment, Grace, who runs the restaurant, gets threatened by the vampires. They warn that they'll attack her daughter at home. In a burst of emotion, she challenges them to fight and unintentionally gives them permission to enter the nightclub. The vampires immediately invade and launch a full-scale attack on the remaining humans. In this brutal assault, Ruthie, Grace, and a member of Sammy's band are killed. The most emotional death is that of Ruthie because Smoke is the one who kills her. Stack attacks her and begins turning her into a vampire. Before she can transform, Smoke pierces her with a wooden stake to save her from becoming one of them. Meanwhile, Sammy and his partner try to escape from the vampires, but Remick blocks their way. On the other side, a fierce battle begins between Smoke and his own brother, Stack. Remick finally attacks Sammy and his partner. He bites Sammy's partner, who then tells Sammy to leave and save himself. Escaping so many vampires is difficult, and they all chase after Sammy. In self-defense, Sammy hits Remick on the head with his guitar, which is embedded with silver. The silver causes Remick immense pain. Since all the vampires are connected to Remick, they all feel the pain too, giving Sammy a chance to escape. As Remick prepares for a final strike, Smoke arrives just in time and saves Sammy by stabbing Remick with a wooden stick. The vampires are shocked to see their leader die. Right then, the sun rises. The newly turned vampires are unaware they must hide before daylight. As sunlight touches them, they begin to burn and disintegrate. Smoke urges Sammy to escape quickly, knowing that the gangster from whom they had stolen money at the beginning of the movie would send men to retaliate. As expected, a group of armed men arrives. Smoke, fighting alone with his guns, manages to kill them all, but he is severely wounded in return and begins to take his final breaths. In his last moments, Smoke remembers his wife and daughter. Eventually, he dies. Now, Sammy is seen entering the church, holding only the head of his broken guitar. This is the opening scene of the movie. Just like before, his father, the priest, tells him to give up music and pray instead. But Sammy doesn't listen. He walks away with the guitar head in hand. In the post-credits scene, the story jumps 60 years into the future. An elderly Sammy still plays the blues. He sings one of his songs and the movie ends on that note.